Greetings, Eric Bakker, naturopath. Thanks for coming back. We're going to look at some big boo-boos today, or mistakes that I don't want you to make in your effort to clean your body up from Candida. Okay, so this video is called the 10 mistakes, or the 10 Candida mistakes to avoid. All right, so I don't want you doing these things. And these are things I see routinely from people in the clinic every day, and I have seen for 30 odd years plus. I've seen people make these mistakes when it comes to not getting better from a yeast infection. Right? Let's start with point number one. Being too diet focused. Okay, I routinely see this. Some people say, oh my God, I'm not getting any better. I'm eating all the right foods. I'm eating all this amazing stuff. I'm eating so clean. I'm eating so clean and, tidy, and I'm not getting better. And then I'm saying, well, let's look at the rest of your life. What about your job? Oh, that's crap. I said, well, maybe you need a clean job, And they look at me really weird because they're so diet focused. Some people have the most amazing diets. In fact, so amazing, it makes you wonder why they're not the healthiest people in the world, If you look at Jeff Bezos with $160 billion, you'd wonder why some people haven't got $160 billion health with the diets that they've got. Literally, they eat so well, but they're still staying sick. And they can't understand why they're not recovering in spite of a perfect diet. Folks, it's not all about food. I've tried to drive this point home so many times on this channel. Getting better from Candida or SIBO or H. pylori or a gut problem is not all about what you eat. I've seen countless people recover on diets that weren't anywhere near as good as what you're eating now. Right? And some of these people were very sick. In some cases, all they needed was an attitude change. All right? That's what they needed. And then they got better. And you'll hear more about that later on. So don't become too diet focused. It's not all about what you eat. It can also be about what's eating you emotionally. Okay? Number two, believing everything you read online. I've mentioned this before too. Some people actually believe everything they read on the internet. They think that if they go to Google and type in a question, that all the answers come up, and that's exactly, it's almost like become a Bible to them. I really wondered today about a lot of people, Many people now don't even have to think anymore because they become, like Elon Musk has said, people are actually cyborgs already. They walk around with their mobile phones in their hand. All we need now is to find a cable to attach the mobile phone to their brain. They don't have to think anymore because their Samsung will do all their thinking for them. So please, please don't believe everything you read online because some of it may not be true. Okay? Do you believe that the earth is flat? Well, I don't. But yet there'll be a lot of people on YouTube, sitting there saying, the earth is flat. I know. I definitely know. It's all lies. The moon's a holographic projection. I mean, come on. These people need to see a psychiatrist, literally. So the Google's full of people that need to see psychiatrists. But it's also full of people that probably are psychiatrists. What you're reading, it could be put in there by a 9-year-old boy, or it could be put in there by a 78-year-old grumpy old guy. You don't know who is typing stuff on the internet, who's behind that junk that you read. So please be careful what you read on the internet. It may not be true. You may actually believe it. Number three, not getting enough sleep. People today, young people, like my kids, my 4 grown-ups, they get about 1.5 hours sleep less per night than I did when I was that age. That's incredible. With poor sleep becomes very, very poor recovery. Sleep is critical that you get sleep. And some people say, I can get by on 4 hours a night. It doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. Okay, we're not quite at that Android stage yet, or that electrical vehicle stage where we can plug our bodies in at night and recharge them. Okay, and just get by with the 2-hour charger in there. We're actually biological beings. All right? We need our sleep. It's the only way we're going to rebuild our health is for develop a really good sleep pattern. I want you to really understand this about sleep because it's one of the most important of these 10 points. And it's one I routinely see people mess up on. I had a patient only recently who's working 13 to 14-hour days and he's not recovering from a gut problem. And he's got a very stressful job in a hospital. He's getting up very early in the morning, literally 5 o'clock, starting work at 6, coming home at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and then doing the same the next day. And this particular person has been to dozens of doctors, spent a fortune on tests and supplements, and has an amazing diet and is getting nowhere. And when we spoke about, the lack of sleep and the grumpiness, he couldn't really understand the connection between that and poor recovery. Well, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. If you don't sleep, you don't feel good, you don't recover. You can eat the best food on the planet. If your sleeping pattern's poor, you might as well have Coke and fries. All right? Number 4, neglecting the work-life balance. Well, it's a bit like what we just mentioned in point 3, not getting enough sleep. Right? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So you're going to be dull or not dull. You need to have balance in your life. You need to have days where you do nothing, where you relax. You need vacation time. You can't work all the time. You're not going to be happy if you're always working. You need downtime. Emotional health is one of the most important parts of recovering from any kind of, medical problem. You need to be happy and have good emotional health. And you can only get this by understanding that sometimes you work, sometimes you don't work. Many people work from home now, and that's a real dilemma, because that means, that they can really mess up that work-life balance. They can procrastinate, they can go down the refrigerator, get a peanut butter sandwich, they can go and put Oprah Winfrey on, or one of those channels where everyone's talking about who's sleeping with someone else and all that kind of junk. So they get confused, they go to Facebook, they procrastinate. That's the danger about working from home. So you need to probably get your act together if you are working from home and get the balance sorted. Right? So this work-life balance is massive. Number 5, taking dozens of dietary supplements. Some people I see take 10, 20, 30, 40. The most amazing one I've ever seen so far has been 63 different dietary supplements in one day. I couldn't believe this woman went, I saw literally like a whole table full of stuff. How can you live like that? If you need to take any more than 3 or 4 things, something's wrong. If you're going to a naturopath or an integrative doctor or, a shaman or whoever you see, if they're recommending supplement after supplement after supplement after supplement, and every time you see them you're getting another 6 or 10, you need to do something about that. Oftentimes when people take dozens of supplements, I'll take them off all that crap and they feel a lot better. What does it tell you? Food is medicine. Medicine is food. A few supplements are well indicated. High quality, taken for short periods of time, help your gut recover, and then you should be good to go with food. Okay? You don't need supplements all your life. Okay, number 6, not exercising enough. The sitting disease is what I'm doing now. I'm sitting on my butt. Yesterday, Tracy and I walked all day. So you need to have a balance in your life. You need to have plenty of time when you sit, and plenty of time when you walk, and plenty of time when you sleep, and plenty of time when you make love, and plenty of time when you work, and plenty of time when you do whatever you want to do in your life. But the balance has to be there. Activity is very important for good digestive health. It's shown through studies that people who walk more have got way less constipation than people who don't walk at all. Better liver health, better digestive health, better emotional health. Exercise improves the emotional health too. And it makes you live longer. Number 7, exercising too much. Yeah, that's right. Some people exercise way too much that I see. They do crazy things. They'll run for an hour a day. They'll be going to the gym. They'll be going to spin classes or this classes or that classes. So people tend to overdo things or they tend to underdo things, but they don't seem to get the balance right in many cases. So don't become an exercise fanatic any more than don't become a diet fanatic. Remember in point 1 we said being diet focused? I've got some patients who are exercise focused. They might eat a bag of potato chips at night sitting in front of Netflix, but they'll be running for half an hour in the morning. Exercising is not an excuse for being able to have a few more cookies at night. Okay? It doesn't work like that. So you don't want to exercise too much. You don't want to exercise too little. You want to get the balance right. And you will work this out through trial and error. It's just like when you learn how to make a really good coffee on an espresso machine. It's like playing a piano. You got to do it every day, and eventually you make the perfect coffee. Eventually, when you've exercised enough, you work out exactly the right amount for you and the right type for you. If not, talk to a personal trainer or someone who can really guide you in that respect. Number 8, being Candida focused only and not looking at SIBO or parasites or anything else. Some people who see me have got their mind made up that the only thing they got is Candida and that's it. And all of their symptoms must be Candida. And the interesting thing is when we stool test these people, about half of them come back with no Candida at all, and it freaks them out. That company's wrong. That $60 million company's wrong. I know better than that. I've got Candida. This is a bogus test. Well, I don't think so. I think the test results are fine. I think that you had this imaginary thing in your head the whole time that you thought you had Candida, when in fact you haven't got Candida. Don't assume. Don't make any assumptions until you have the fact in hand. You may not have Candida. It could be Klebsiella. It could be Citrobacter. It could be Blastocystis. There could be some organism in your gut that's not Candida. Different types of bacteria can invoke symptoms very, very similar to yeast infection. So be careful not to make assumptions. How many times have you blamed someone for something only later on to find out that it was you that was responsible for mislaying that pair of scissors or for doing something? You know, because you had such a strong picture in your mind that someone did something, but it turned out not to be that way. It's the same with Candida. Be very careful, all right? Okay, number 9, not testing regularly. So some people never test. They just treat, and they will never ever test their digestive system to see what they've got. That's like going to a new country without a map or Google Maps or cell phone. You're driving out in the wilderness. You don't know where the hell you're going. You end up lost. Okay, and then you have arguments with people and make bad decisions. If you do your homework first and act upon good information, you get the best outcomes. Test first if in doubt. Always test. Stool testing is the premier test, not the organic acid test, not the hair test. Okay, not the hair test. You know, there's hundreds of tests. The comprehensive stool analysis is the Rolls Royce or the Cadillac, depending where you live. The Cadillac test to determine what's wrong with your gut. Best information gives you the best protocol, gives you the best outcome. Right? Number 10, not pursuing your dreams, okay, and not being happy in your life. This is a really powerful one, and I've kept this one for the last because, in my opinion, it's one of the most important out of these 10 points, okay? Are you happy right now in your life? Do you like your relationship? Have you got a good job? Are you studying too much? What's annoying you? Have you broken down the components in your life you don't like and trying to work out why you're not happy? This is one of the sticking points for recovery for a lot of people, okay? I don't care what your diet's like. I don't care how much you exercise. I don't care how much you sleep. If you're not happy with some big thing in your life, you're not going to recover that well. You're going to be sick. And you're going to stay sick until someone tells you, hey, you need to make a change. Think carefully about that. If you love what you do and you love who you're with, or the people you're with, it's going to make a big difference when it comes to recovery. A tremendous difference. And that's my personal experience. Thanks for tuning in.